Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometimes declines by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade. When in eternal lines to time thou growest, so long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. Here to redeem a good time with a cute guy? Oh my, who could that be? Hey, Solar. Hello, hello. Decided to open with a fun poem that I found. Sonnet number 18 by William Shakespeare. Have you been, Solar? I wasn't here yesterday, but I'm now here to find out how you are today. And of course, I do have plenty more poems to read, as well as things to talk about. A nice little prepared list. Because I've realized I've talked quite a bit, but not really too much about my preferences and such, as well as wanting to learn more about you guys as well. You're good? Got some more sleep in? That's wonderful. We do love more sleep. I had a good amount this morning, I think. But because today has not been the kindest, both for myself and for others around me, I was thinking, what is a good way to combat the negativity that has been surrounding me? And what I found was, why not think about the things that I like and enjoy? Like, for example, what types of music do you like to listen to? What are the sounds that soothe you, that get you going and ready for the day? Or when you just need to wind down? As you could probably tell by listening to the beginning and the BRB screen and the end, sometimes some nice smooth jazz is just the thing I need. But other times, if we need more of a boost, I like some good old synthwave, some chiptune, some lovely classic pieces. Honestly, my taste is all over the place, and who doesn't love some good old rock? Pulling up my Spotify now. Recently, there has been quite a bit of good old J-pop and J-rock, as well as some other things as well. Like a song that I used to listen to quite a bit when I was younger, which is Sand in My Shoes by Dido. I think my brother had that song playing after he had moved out. And one of the things he loved to show me was trance music, which that basically falls into. Oh, I used to obsessively listen to all sorts of trance. It was always nice and smooth, Never could really get into dubstep though. I felt it was too aggressive for me, but sometimes an aggressive touch is needed. But then, of course, you have gorgeous sweeping pieces of music that just inspire you and make you think of other worlds that are out there. It's always fun to flex the imagination. Heck yeah. Ooh, here's a fun one. A nice short poem. You are the light of my life, the one who makes everything right. Your love, a melody in my heart, forever and always, my sweetheart. I think that one's nice and sweet. From homemategiftsmadeeasy.com. That was easy. More like you. Always being here and supporting. It's always very sweet and appreciated. Ooh. Here's a nice three-liner just for you, Solar. Your smile is sunshine to my soul. Your touch, a warm embrace. My love for you will never grow old. Poem called Sunshine to My Soul. I wonder why that fits so well. Ah, here we go, the real boyfriend experience. But yeah, was definitely thinking and looking at things that would be nice to listen to. And I'm like, someone mentioned poems before, I think. And I found cute romantic love poems, general love poems, inspirational poetry. There's a few that I like and a few that I don't. And I found a few bedtime stories as well. So, I think we'll have a nice, full, literature-filled night tonight. Or today. It's still only 4:40 for me. Nice and... well, most of the day's gone, but there's still daylight to burn. Gotta look real quick? Sounds good, Solar. I'll go ahead and leave you with a poem by an anonymous user called Be True to You. As you set out on life's road, unsure of the path you'll go, the most important thing you can do is to always be true to you. Always remember who you are in moments of struggle or fear. Never forget or give up on the hopes and dreams you hold dear. There will be setbacks and rejection and moments of failure too. But you must overcome any frustration to achieve the potential of you. Don't forget to smile or laugh or to live in the present. No matter where life takes you, make every memory pleasant. As you travel along your journey, know that you're never alone, and I'll always be here for you should you need the comfort of home. That's a good one. I like that a lot. And for someone like me who's constantly trying to go and chase his dreams, but Feels kinda weighed down sometimes by himself. I think that's especially fitting and lovely. Because it is true, there will be setbacks and rejection. We're not always going to make it. We can always get back up and try again. We rise and fall and rise again. Someday I'll make something of myself. Heck, I'm trying to already. Admittedly, I'm still scared. But, as I sometimes have caught myself saying, when has that ever stopped me before? So I shouldn't let it stop me again. Wise, wise words. Oh. Man. A new game came out recently. Little game that I'd been looking forward to called Atlas. $10 on Steam. I tried out the demo and I enjoyed it a lot. Very fast-paced, exploration-y type game where you play as furry little creatures. And I think that's really fun. Whizzing around, spells and swords and cool weapons and, well, depending on the day, there's either lots of skeletons or there's little slimes around, or big boars. But it is very fun. Action games. I like them. They're not my biggest passion, but then again, I do love Kingdom Hearts a whole lot. Oh man, that's a special series. And my favorite game of all time is a little game called Brave Fencer Musashi, which is also an action RPG type game. Running around with two different swords, getting different elements, exploring, throwing tiny woodland creatures for their berries, beating up lots of pigmen. It's fun. But then we have MMOs as well. Oh, I do love a good grind. Sometimes. It all started with MapleStory back in the day, then trying out other things like Ragnarok Online. I wanted to play World of Warcraft, but it turns out that my brother was very, very stingy, and it took me a very long time to actually get to play it for myself. When I did, though, I think I played as a priest, and it was pretty cool to run around the huge open expanse, adventure everywhere. I remember when I was watching my brother play one time, he loves druids, and anything he can be a druid, he will be one. A man was born to be one with nature. And one of the cool things about druids in World of Warcraft, of course, was the animal transformations. And one of the ones he had the most fun with was the swim form. I remember he tried to swim along the outer rim of the continent, going all the way from the Alliance side to the Horde side. It was such a perilous journey. Because if you're away from the map too far, your stamina bar goes down, and if that hits 0, you die. And there's all these super dangerous, scary skull-level monsters there too. Which, you die. So it was super scary as things get close, but after several hours, a grueling transformation, he finally made it and surprised a lot of people by being a place where he should not be. That sort of open exploration is so cool and inspiring. I think I want a game like that. Big ol' open exploration. Might be one of the reasons why I like Minecraft a whole lot. Minecraft on its own is nice, is fun, but it has been played to death. So, of course, the mods are where it's at. I think my favorite mod of all time is Botania. Everyone loves flower technology. Which is a very silly sentence to think about. As you grow different trees and stuff and build portals and woods, and it's neat getting all the runes and glyphs together. Speaking of trees, I found a poem. Poem starts with, I saw a perfect tree today from my cabin bed on a Via Rail train through the north of Ontario. I saw a perfect tree today. It was tall and thin and scraggly and prim. Then I saw another just as perfect, short and sturdy with branches and brambles, and then another with a rugged fat trunk, older than the rest, but just as perfect. I saw a dozen trees in a clump sharing the light. So their growth was stunted, but regal they were, plump and perfect. And then a small twisted tree, with leaves fallen, trunk slanted, all the more perfect. I saw tens and hundreds and thousands and hundreds of thousands of trees. Not one single tree exactly like another, and yet they were all perfect trees. A man-child from Mississauga headed to Bent Steel to make his fortunes in the Alberta oil fields. I've never seen so many trees in my whole life. A balding dude, 30 years a social worker, retiring home from Winnipeg Calms. Where I come from, they cut them all down long before I was born. And I'm reminded, this land, where cities have sprouted, blooming, glistening skyscrapers at night, 'twas all covered with trees once. One big forest we were once. All perfect trees. Kinda sad at the end there, but reading through that, that does remind me. Lots of memories coming from me today. But when I first moved to where I live now, we had a palm tree. And this palm tree apparently did not grow very well. Because when you think of a palm tree, you can think of a long, towering, thin sort of trunk with fronds flapping in the wind, maybe a coconut. But long and thin. Not this one. This tree, I should call it, was in fact the shape of a pineapple. Short and thick. Oh goodness, it was so rotund. the roundest of palm trees you'll ever find. The removal of it was so difficult. Any other tree would have been easy to chop down, but they had to worry about the giant pineapple that was stuck in the ground. Oh man. Its stump was impressive though. Okay, it wasn't small, honestly. It was a good sized platform. But it was fun all the same. I've been in this place for so many years. Over 10, I think, at this point. Definitely over 10. We moved around quite a lot before, and I've been here ever since. I wouldn't mind moving on to a brand new place. I just don't really know where. There's so many different places. Even just in America alone, every single state is so widely different from another. And that's not even getting into different countries. Oh boy. I do like it here. And I enjoy not really having any natural disasters waiting to happen. The most we get is earthquakes, and even then they're super tiny, mostly because they hit California more. We already have our mountains around us. I suppose there's also a danger of flooding. But after years of preparation, I feel like for the most part, we're pretty ready for any sort of floods that may come our way. Oh man, another train poem. That's kind of funny. I do like trains, and the idea of trains and just traveling on them. But here we go. During 2 hours on the train, I rerun the film of my life. 2 minutes per year on average, half an hour for childhood, another half hour for prison. Love, books, wandering, take up the rest. The hand of my companion gradually melts into mine, and her head on my shoulder is as light as a dove. When we arrive, I'll be 50 or so, and still have about an hour to live. Dang. Kind of intense towards the end there. Growing older is scary. Just thinking about it. I try not to, but yeah. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and the breadth and height my soul can reach when feeling out of sight. For the ends of being an ideal grace, I love thee to the level of every day's most quiet need by sun and candlelight. I love thee freely, as men strive for right. I love thee purely, as they turn from praise. I love thee with the passion put to use in my old griefs and with my childhood's faith. I love thee with a love I seemed to lose with my lost saints. I love thee with the breath, smiles, tears of all my life, and if God choose, I shall but love thee better after death. By Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Jess. Be right back. And I am back. Ah, I finished my bottle of water, and so I took the time to open another one. Gotta stay hydrated after all. I hope you're all drinking water and have something nice to eat. Speaking of nice things to eat, today I had some brisket actually. I've always been a fan of beef. Beef and chicken, and broccoli too. Love shrimp, various fruits. Veggies are also good too. so many fun things to make, too. As much as I love simple meals, sometimes it's nice to just go out and enjoy. Food for thought, I guess. Oh, segue time. I found a small short story. Hi, Jam Jam. Good to see you. The small story is called Leo the Cat Bakes Waffles. One Sunday, Leo the cat's family was having friends over for a visit. Leo enjoyed it very much when guests came to their house because they would always play and cuddle with him. Leo would be the center of attention the whole time. If he was lucky, someone would hold him and rub his ears for hours. Thank you, Jam Jam. That day, there were delicious smells coming from the kitchen. Family was preparing waffle batter. Leo especially loved the milk that went into the batter. He could sniff it from anywhere in the house. Leo was very good at observing. Nothing escaped him, and today was no different. He sat down on the tile floor of the kitchen and closely followed the waffle preparations. Of course, he was always hopeful that he would get some scraps. Maybe something would spill on the floor and he would get to lick it up. But not this time. What a pity. He dreamed of tasting the milk, but Leo's family always fed him at specific times. They worried that he might get too fat. When the delicious smelling waffles were ready, his mom sprinkled them with powdered sugar and served them to the guests. Unable to resist sweet things, Leo ran to each guest in turn, meowing affectionately to see if he could get them to share their waffles. But every guest followed the rule about not feeding the cat. With a sigh, he took one last sniff of the delicious scent and retreated to the sofa. And suddenly I'm filled with memories of every dog I've ever owned. Especially Jack Jack. He'll come over to the table and he'll find someone and he will just stare with those large globes inside of his head. Luckily, I almost never give him anything, because I feel like most foods are kinda harsh on his little belly. My parents, however, they spoil him. They spoil him a lot. I mean, not a lot, but every day. So either he'll sit and wait, or lay down, or sometimes I send him away. But now back to Leo the cat. That is when he had an idea. He would wait for the next day when everyone went to work, and he had the whole kitchen to himself. Then he could do whatever he wanted. That night, he could hardly sleep because he was so excited. The next morning, the family said goodbye to Leo the cat. As usual, his mom said, "Be a good boy and have a nice day, and we'll see you tonight." "Meow," Leo replied, like always, which meant, "Of course I will." As soon as the door closed, Leo got to work. I'm going to have waffles of my own for once, he thought to himself. Leo grabbed an apron, like his family always did, and tied it around his waist. Here we go. First, I'll need a bowl, but it's all the way up in the cupboard. I need a ladder, he thought to himself. Whew, how exhausting, grumbled Leo, as he gathered the flour, sugar, butter, eggs, milk, and a pinch of salt. It's a good thing I watched so closely yesterday. They make it look so easy. Fortunately, the waffle iron and mixer were still on the countertop, all clean and shiny from the day before. Perfect, Leo thought, as he started to mix the batter. He was quite proud of his results, until he noticed that the flour had dusted the entire kitchen top. Suddenly, his nose itched. Oh no! Achoo! Leo had sneezed so hard that dough stuck to his mustache, and flour covered the floor around him. Meow, I'll clean that up later, he thought. He grabbed the mixer and started whisking the dough. Oh my, it's splattering everywhere. Leo was covered in batter, but he was happy to lick it off and continued diligently. As he tasted the dough with his paw, he thought, meow, a little more sugar would be good. Leo kept tasting and adjusting until the dough was nice and sweet. Now it was time to turn on the waffle iron and cook the waffles. He scooped up the batter with the ladle, but he was no longer sure how much to use. The batter spilled onto the countertop. Never mind that, Leo thought to himself. I just finished my very first waffle. It was a little burnt, but Leo ate it with relish. And so it went until several waffles later, the cat grabbed his belly and doubled over in pain. Me after a buffet, honestly. Meow, all those waffles are making my tummy hurt, he whined. I need to rest up a bit before I clean up. He climbed up his cat tree with the last of his strength and laid down, but he could hardly relax. He looked at the kitchen clock and thought, meow, it's almost 5 o'clock. The family would be home soon, and he still had to clean up. With a terrible stomach ache, he got up and rinsed all the dishes in the sink and put them away. He mopped the floor furiously and swept it with his tail, but even after all that, everything was still so sticky. Just as he was done cleaning, he heard the key in the lock and watched as the front door opened. His family called out to him like usual, and he heard his mother say in surprise, "It sure smells like waffles in here." She went and found Leo, who usually couldn't get enough of his food, but today he wouldn't eat a thing. He was exhausted, and his belly was sticky from all the sugar. She scratched Leo behind the ears and said, "You're all sticky. What did you get up to today? Are you not feeling well, Leo? I think you should go to sleep early and get some rest." Meow, meow, meow. Leo the cat quickly agreed before jumping to his basket so she couldn't ask him any more questions. That was close. I'll never do anything like that again, he thought as he fell asleep. Ugh, that was a cute little story. Honestly, a good life lesson, too. Something that I've learned personally is when you're cooking, make sure that you clean as you cook. That way, it doesn't bother you after you finish eating. The food might be a bit colder once you get to it, but less of a headache later. Plus, Leo the cat is a lovely little name. Oh my gosh, they have like 4 different stories with Leo. What a cute little website. Apparently made by Chrissy and Tom. On a website called lemonsandletters.com. Super cute. I do love cats a lot. I just wish I wasn't so severely allergic to them, because they love me too. My cousin has a lovely kitten. Okay, not kitten, she is a cat. We treat her like a kitten, though. Her name is Bella, the replacement of a cat named Mimi. Bella, though, is such a sweetheart. Initially, she was very skittish, of course, but it turns out she eventually came to want to hang out with me. And any time I'm around, she'll have her little raspy meow. Barely a meow, but she tries. And will always try to stay close and ask me for scritches and snuggles. And you know, she is a lovely furry creature. So I will indulge. And promptly die. Worth it, though. Here's a fun poem. With you, my heart is whole. My life is full of grace. Forever bound, body and soul. Short and sweet. Ooh. A simple peace. In your arms, I find my peace. A love that lasts and will never cease. There's some nice ones on this site. Maybe we'll have a day making poems. That might be fun. Your love is like a warm embrace, filling my heart with gentle grace. You are the sun on a cloudy day, and in your arms I find my way. My heart is yours, forever true, for in you, my love, I have found my muse. Every beat, my love for you grows. Love, I find repose. You think of anyone with that poem? Let's see. Ooh. So we'll go no more roving, so late into the night, though the heart be still as loving, and the moon be still as bright. For the sword outwears its sheath, and the soul wears out the breast, and the heart must pause to breathe, and love itself have rest. Though the night was made for loving, and the day returns too soon, yet we'll go no more a roving by the light of the moon. I mean, definitely a pretty poem, but also kind of sad. Till death do us part, I guess. Moods brutally frank, depressed, despairing, dreamy, haunted, lonely, lovesick. Wow, what a poem. It was nice though. Torture. Messed up. I don't know if I like the sound of that poem. Let's find another bedtime story. Is this just a website to show off Chrissy and Tom's things? Yes, it is, looks like. This one's called Jasper, the Thoughtful Lion. I'm not sure why every single book I find has the name of somebody's pet, but it's interesting how that works. Jasper the lion could hear their laughter even from a distance. Susan the zebra and Richard the meerkat playfully raced through the dry grass, kicking up dust and sand. When they were completely out of breath, they ran over to the shady spot where Jasper, come play with us, said Susan. What's the matter, Jasper? Richard asked, noticing Jasper's mood. What were you thinking about? Jasper didn't really know what he had just been thinking about. Just keep playing without me, he mumbled. Susan and Richard looked at each other. But Jasper, you're going to miss the whole day if you keep this up, said Susan. Can we help? Maybe the three of us could think about it together. But Jasper didn't want to accept their help. Friends always stick together, said Richard. And if you don't tell us what's on your mind, we'll tickle you until you do. Susan and Richard giggled at the idea of tickling Jasper's tummy. All right, I'll tell you, said Jasper, before they could tickle him. There was an accident yesterday when I was visiting my grandmother. I was playing chase with my little cousin, and I was about to finally catch him when I tripped over a tree root and fell into the table. I heard a terrible crash. When I turned around, I saw Grandma's favorite teapot lying on the ground in pieces. Was she very mad? Asked Susan, who sympathized with Jasper. No, she wasn't mad at all, he said. She told me not to worry about it, but I know how much she loved that teapot. Jasper looked even sadder now. Enough sulking, said Richard. Why don't we help you glue the pieces together? Your grandma won't even notice any difference from before. Jasper took out a bag with the pieces of the broken teapot. Richard got glue and a brush, and in no time, the three of them had glued the teapot back together. Well, it doesn't look like new, but I'm sure your grandma will be very happy anyway, said Susan. Let's go see what she says, said Jasper, and the three of them set off. They were greeted by Jasper's grandma at the garden gate. Hello, you three, she said. Do you want to have a piece of cake with me? I still have a few left over from yesterday. I can offer you juice and water to go with it. I'd love some tea, said Jasper. And I have the perfect teapot, too. Jasper beamed as he handed his grandma the repaired teapot. You three are the best, said Grandma. This teapot is very old. It belonged to my grandmother. Thank you so much for fixing it. Now let's eat cake. Jasper smiled and felt all his worries melt away. That was a sweet story. Honestly, I feel like I can kind of relate to it too. Sometimes, sometimes you mess up and you think about it and you're stuck thinking about it as you get all gloomy and sad and the day is passing by. But I'm still trying, you know? It's it's okay to kind of think about it and wallow in it for a little while, but can't let it eat you up. Have to keep going, even if it's hard. Either find some way to help or make up for it, or just, just do what you can. And that's my plan. Oh, Jasper. I found some nice stuff today, honestly. It's like I love my books, but they're, of course, very, very long winded and, they take a while to get through. Nice, though. Like, I love my Belgariad series. When I first moved to my new home, uh, I was able to try out the first book, and after I had grown obsessed with it, reading it over and over, I took every time I could. Oh, poor Jasper. What a sweet little guy. But I took every moment I could to try to get every single other book in the series. Eventually, like, I had gotten some friends into it too when I shared my books, and they got some books I didn't even know about later in the series. They let me borrow them, and super spoiler rich. I didn't know it at the time, but I'm like, oh, this feels like stuff I should know about. And found out that in between those books was an entire sequel series. Did I accidentally steal those books? Sure did. Did I buy new ones and give them to her? Sure did. I made up for it. I made up for it. But that does, of course, mean that the series itself is 12 books long. So that's gonna take a while. Also, be right back. There we go. Sorry about that. Had to take a quick phone call. Looks like we're having pizza tonight. Sometimes you get in the mood for pizza. It's not my favorite thing, but sometimes you just think, yeah, pizza could really hit the spot right now. What are your favorite toppings? I think for me, my personal favorite has grown to be. Ooh, let's not punch the microphone. Personal favorite toppings on a pizza are cheese, mushrooms, and pepperoni. That's all I need. Anything else? It can be a bit much, but it still tastes so good. I used to always get meat lovers. I was very anti-veggie. But I've learned that it really does enhance the flavor when you have the right vegetables going on. That being said, I will still always get a Baconator from Wendy's. I just feel like it's their best sandwich that they have. Ah, we do love a good old burger. Something that I've been doing lately is thinking about the different worlds that VR chat has to offer and all the different things that I've been able to see and experience. Because there's some really cool stuff out there. Huge worlds where you can drive around an entire island. Full-on recreation of Kmart, a long since bankrupted and closed store. We'll probably see a Sears there. I think there is a Sears there. Weird experiences as you travel through ancient ruins, solving puzzles and mysteries. Horror maps up the wazoo. Very easy to make something scary when you're in VR. Ah, man. So many cool things I've experienced, both in and out of the computer. Oh, man. Ooh. There we go. There's a nice looking poem. The Gentle Rain. You are the light of my life. In your love I find no strife. You are the one who makes everything right, and in your heart I find my delight. Your touch, like a gentle rain, soothes my soul, relieves my pain. You are the one who sets me free, and in your love I'll always be. Suddenly just thinking of Purple Rain. Oh, that's a long one. My love for you is like the sea, a vast and endless mystery, with tides that ebb and flow like time, and depths that are forever mine. Your touch is like the ocean breeze that brings me to my bending knees. A love that's sweet and always new, and makes my heart sing just for you. With every moment we're together, our love grows stronger now and forever. A bond that's deep and always true. A love that's meant for me and you. So here's my vow, my love, my dear, to cherish and to hold so near, forever bound heart and soul. My love for you will always glow. That one's super sweet. This is a great website. Definitely a lot of good things to use. Lots and lots of good and touching poems. Ooh, here's an inspirational one called May You Always. by an anonymous user. May you always have enough happiness to keep you sweet, enough trials to keep you strong, enough sorrow to keep you human, enough hope to keep you happy, enough failure to keep you humble, enough success to keep you eager, enough friends to give you comfort, enough wealth to meet your needs, enough enthusiasm to look forward, enough determination to make each day better than yesterday. May we always have these things. And if not, we'll find them. We'll find them. For sure. Ooh, another inspirational one. Power of One by Ashish Ram. One song can spark a moment. One flower can wake the dream. One tree can start a forest. One bird can herald spring. One smile begins a friendship. One hand clasp lifts a soul. One star can guide a ship at sea. One word can frame the goal. One vote can change a nation. One sunbeam lights a room. One candle wipes out darkness. One laugh will conquer gloom. One step must start each journey. One word must start each prayer. One hope will raise our spirits. One touch can show you care. One voice can speak with wisdom. One heart can know what's true. One life can make the difference. You see, it's up to you. All true. All true. Reminds me how I have a certain song that I listen to. My power song, as it were. When I really need to buckle down and get things done. It cuts through the anxiety, the fear, the pressure, calms me down and gets me going. And I can just power through whatever needs to be done. That song being Jason by The Midnight. I'm not sure why. There's just something about the melody I find so gorgeous and just keeps me going. It's a very powerful song. All these different random poem. Praise the rain, the seagull dive, the curl of plant, the raven talk. Hi, Senna. Praise the hurt, the house slack, the stand of trees, the dignity. Thank you, Jam Jam. Praise the dark, the moon cradle, the sky fall, the bear sleep. Praise the mist, the warrior name, the earth eclipse, the fired leap. Praise the backwards, upward sky, the baby cry, the spirit food. Praise canoe, the fish rush, the hole for frog, the upside down. Praise the day, the cloud cup, mind flat, forget it all. Praise crazy, praise sad. Praise the path on which we're led. Praise the roads on earth and water. Praise the eater and the eaten. Praise the beginnings, praise the end. Praise the song and praise the singer. Praise the rain, it brings more rain. Praise the rain, it brings more rain. That one was interesting. How are you doing today, Senna? Hopefully well. Flames flicker, dance, and leap within my heart, melting away the ice that kept me apart. Now I am consumed by this fiery desire, my soul ablaze, my heart a burning pyre. Love's heat melts my heart, sets my spirit free. That's nice. Ooh. So many fun little poems. Jeffrey the Seagull. Cute little story. Let's put you guys to sleep, shall we? Every day, in good or bad weather, large and small ships pass through a narrow waterway along a rocky coastal landscape. The old lighthouse guided their way, ensuring visibility even at night and during heavy storms. Jeffrey the Seagull loved spending his time at the beach. There, he watched the ships come and go, dreaming of the adventures of the seafarers. One day, as he was eating a lugworm, Jeffrey was startled from his daydream by a loud honking. He flew towards the harbor, where he could see many large ships crowding in the narrow waterway. It was pure chaos. Jeffrey scratched his head with his wing. No one knew the harbor as well as he did, and there had never been such chaos here. After all, the lighthouse always helped bring the ships safely into the harbor. Then it became clear to him. The light in the lighthouse must not be working. Bad weather was forecast for that afternoon and the next few days. Jeffrey watched as a thick fog rolled in over the harbor and rain started to pour. Large ships were dangerously close to shore and each other as they now also struggled to see. Jeffrey thought about how he could help. He had an idea. He grabbed a small lantern and tied it around his neck. Then he flew into the harbor. The waves were getting bigger, and Jeffrey could barely see a beak's length ahead of him. But he was not afraid. He knew he was the only one who could help now. No one had studied the lighthouse signals for as long or as closely as he had. As the honking grew louder and the smell of engine oil grew stronger, Jeffrey knew that he had reached the first ship. He saw a large red wall looming in front of him. He had never been this close to a ship before. He changed course and flew upward. He landed on the ship's railing to get his bearings. It was rocking terribly, and the storm was so strong that he had to cling to the railing so that he wasn't blown away. Carefully, he waddled around on the rusted iron bar. He wanted to see where the front of the ship was. Finally, he turned on his lantern and flew up to the bridge. The beam of light made its way through the thick fog. His feathers were wet and heavy, but he didn't mind. Jeffrey liked the stormy sea. When he saw a large pane of glass in front of him, he knew he had found where the captain of the ship usually sits. Captains steered these huge steel blocks through the ocean using lighthouses for orientation. Jeffrey moved his lantern up and down when he saw an old bearded man with his blue cap peering through the thick glass pane. He wondered how long this captain had been on this ship. Captain saw Geoffrey and looked quite astonished. He pinched himself to make sure that he had not fallen asleep and started dreaming about a seagull with a lantern around its neck. But it seemed to be real. Ahead of him, a soaking wet seagull was flying up and down, eagerly swinging a yellow lantern toward the west. Is that bird really trying to show me the way? The captain asked his officer. The latter looked at him strangely and replied, "This seagull may be the only creature that can get us out of the storm alive." Geoffrey was getting tired. His wings grew heavy as the storm raged on. What are they waiting for? He thought. I can't fly in place for much longer. Suddenly, the ship honked and the engine grew louder. It hummed and rattled, and a large black cloud enveloped Geoffrey. No longer able to see, he flew up into the sky as fast as he could. There, he could see the shadow of the ship as it changed its course towards the west. Just in time, thought Geoffrey, watching the ship narrowly avoid a big, sharp rock. But there was no time to rest. There were still many ships waiting for Geoffrey's help that day. Well, that was nice. Short and sweet. I don't really have much else to say about this one. No real life lessons to to take from this one besides trying to help in a rough situation. Chloe the stubborn chicken. Okay, hold on. Oh no, I have to read this one now. Chloe the stubborn chicken. Chloe. Jacob and his wife Harper lived with many animals on a big farm near a clearing in the woods. The farm had a wide green meadow where the cows enjoyed eating fresh grass every day. For the cool nights in winter, the farmer had built them a cozy barn filled with hay so they could warm up and protect themselves from rain and snow. The cows were so comfortable on the farm that they gave the farmers plenty of fresh milk each morning. The sheep also enjoyed the big field. They weren't afraid of wolves because they all looked out for each other, and Jacob counted them each morning. They snuggled together in the evenings and loved to look at the stars in the sky. They were happy to share their warm wool with the farmers each spring. 3 cats made sure that the farmers had no mice in their house. Harper didn't like mice in the house at all. She stroked the cats and gave them fresh milk for keeping the mice away. Note, cats shouldn't really have too much milk. Barry, a farm dog, had a particularly important role. He was the oldest resident on the farm, and he knew every animal and every nook and cranny in the area. He made it his business to watch over everyone and make sure no harm came to them. The chicken coop was an especially cheerful place where 12 hens and a proud rooster lived. The hens chatted and walked around their lovely coop all day. Harper secretly liked the chickens best because they laid fresh eggs for her every morning, which she would then eat for breakfast. Chloe was a little different than the other chickens. She was a stubborn and usually did her own thing when the other chickens were picking at grains, digging holes in the ground, talking to each other, or running after the rooster. She liked to explore the other animals' homes and make friends with her neighbors. All the other chickens regularly laid their eggs in their nests every day for Harper to collect, but Chloe liked to build her own nest in the tall grass or near the fence and lay her eggs there. Then she would wrap a string around it and pull it with her beak to give to whoever she was visiting that day. What a strange gift. Eventually, Chloe became bored of the farm. She had met everyone and desperately wanted to make new friends, so she decided she would go see what was happening on the other side of the fence. That evening, she went back to the chicken coop as usual, took her place on the ladder, and didn't tell the others about her secret plan. As the sun set, everyone else dozed off, but Chloe was too excited about the next day to sleep. Next morning, the rooster crowed at sunrise and woke all the residents of the farm. Chloe got ready for her adventure. She tied one end of the string around her egg and held the other end firmly in her beak, planning to give it to the first animal she met. She looked for an opening in the fence that was big enough to squeeze through, and off she went. Chloe had never seen the clearing up close before. She was standing in the middle of the dark forest. Trees looked huge, and the sounds coming from the forest were unfamiliar to her. Chloe was just starting to worry when she met a friendly fox. The fox said in a pleasant voice, "What's your name, beautiful chicken? And what are you doing here in the woods?" "I'm Chloe, and I'm looking for new friends. I already know everyone back on the farm," Chloe explained. "Well, you've come to the right place," said the fox. "I love chickens, and I will be happy to be your new friend." Chloe was very trusting. Everyone she had ever met was kind. She thought the fox was very nice, and she offered him her egg. The fox took the egg and said, "Thank you. Why don't you come back to my den and we can have some lunch?" Chloe happily agreed. By now, the others on the farm had noticed that Chloe was missing. The rooster ran all over, asking all the animals about the missing chicken, but no one had seen her all day. So the rooster went to the farm dog for help. Barry had a great sense of smell, and the rooster hoped he would be able to sniff out Chloe's path. Together, they squeezed through the fence and ran into the forest. They stopped, out of breath, in front of a foxhole. "This is where the trail ends. Chloe must be in there," said Barry. They approached the den and saw the fox had put a pot of water on the fireplace to make some delicious soup. Chloe had started to feel uncomfortable with the fox, but she didn't know where to run. Suddenly, Barry came into the den and barked so loudly that the fox quickly ran away. Chloe jumped on Barry's back, and they all ran as fast as they could back to the farm. Finally, back on the other side of the fence, the rooster calmly explained to Chloe that the fox had only lured her into his den to eat her. He was not a good friend. Chloe now understood what danger she had been in. She hugged Barry and thanked him profusely for rescuing her. She was very glad to be safe with her friends again. She imagined she wouldn't find her life on the farm quite so boring anymore. It was already dusk, and the chickens were gathered in the coop, preparing a place to sleep. Everyone wanted to hear about Chloe's day. Exhausted from her adventure, Chloe couldn't keep her eyes open. As she fell asleep, she promised to tell them every detail in the next morning. Definitely some lessons to learn from that one, but that was nice. It's kind of nice reading all these short stories. Yeah, I know, right? Found very nice site. Had these stories that, like, I know I've never read before or seen. What is that emo jam jam? That's hilarious. As they grow buff. Oh man. Oh, that is silly. Hey Jam Jam, do you often play video games? And if so, what's your favorite one? I'm curious. The clouds. Those are cute too. I can't say I have too fond memories of clowns. Most of the clowns that I've run into have been scary mannequins. And some friendly ones, but like, we weren't really close or anything. But I suppose that's what happens when you work in a clown maze. So scary. And during Halloween, some of the mannequins would be replaced with real clown actors. Oh boy. I'm surprised more people did not get punched. Yes, you do? You think your favorite games so far is Fortnite and Overwatch and Minecraft? That's a fun list. I definitely have been obsessed with Fortnite myself, and Minecraft. I did enjoy Overwatch back when it first came out, though I didn't really have too many people to play with, so I did go back to Team Fortress 2. I think my favorite character was Junkrat. I really liked lobbing grenades. And the wheel ultimate was very, very silly. Then I enjoyed using Anna, being a sniping healer slash sniper. I can play with you. Oh my. I am thinking of games to play together with chat. Either getting a server or stuff we can do on stream. I feel like that'd be fun. Just gotta find the right ones. What's with all these sad poems? I'm not sure I like this website. You can play Fortnite? Ah, dangerous words. The new season did come out. So that would be funny. Let's see. Ooh. Here's a fun one. To be mine. My heart beats faster with every thought of you. My love for you is pure and ever true. I dream of a future where we are wed, a life together, just you and me ahead. To hold your hand and look into your eyes, as my wife, my love, my everything, my prize. I don't know about that last word, but that's a nice poem. Yeah, we'll find something. My love for you is like the ocean, vast and deep in constant motion, endless, timeless, forevermore, a love that flows to the shore. Good rhymes, good rhymes. Oh wow, that one's long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not a poem, that's an essay. It even has a beginning, middle, and end. Goodness gracious. All right. You have been asking for marriage a whole lot, haven't you, Jam Jam? Be right back, though. Gonna drink some water. So, go ahead and step up for a little bit, take a stretch, drink some water, and I will be right back. I feel like today's been a lot of fun so far, but I always do like to see everyone's opinion if they enjoyed it or not, too. Reading a bunch of short stories and poems. Has that been good and relaxing? Have you been enjoying it? Let me know. Always looking to try new things versus just reading one book. Oh, yeah. Today is Saturday. Yeah, that's rare. I usually never stream on Saturdays. This was nice. Jam Jam. Oh, you. Oh, here's a random poem. Our muscles grow strong with everyday use. Strong arms can offer a tender embrace. A heart that is brave can soften with compassion. A clever mind can find time to daydream. Sharp eyes can see both sides of a problem, and the fastest feet can slow to the march, the long road to justice. All right. It's a good way to keep your heart strong, I guess. All right, I'm closing this website. There are too many sad poems. Coming out of the woodwork. Let's see. Ooh. Because it is, well, for some people the sun has already set. Here's a bedtime story called The Melodies of Time Embrace. Do I plan on reading the Odyssey soon? Yeah, soon. I do think I should finish Fellowship of the Ring first, though. It's not good to just leave a book in the middle. Which is why we'll get back to it. And having concurrent books at the same time, I mean, it could work. It could work. In a world where time flowed steadily and memories were often locked in the past, there existed a clockmaker's shop that held an extraordinary secret. Tucked away on a quaint street, the shop was known to only a few, and its true marvel lay hidden within a dusty old pocket watch. The watch was unlike any other, its intricate design concealing a remarkable power, the ability to turn back time for a brief moment. It was a relic from an era long forgotten, passed down through generations of clockmakers who had cherished its enchantment. In this unassuming shop, there lived a talented clockmaker named Lucian. His silvery hair, a reflection of his wisdom, framed a face that held both a gentle smile and the sparkle of curiosity. Lucian's hands were skilled at repairing timepieces, but it was the pocket watch that held his heart. One night, as the moon bathed the shop in a soft glow, Lucian decided to reveal the watch's secret to a weary traveler named Isabella. Isabella's eyes held a glimmer of intrigue and a heart that yearned for stories that transcended the ordinary. Watch nestled in her palm, Lucian explained its workings. When the watch's delicate hands pointed at the stroke of midnight, a melody reminiscent of a lullaby emanated from its gears. Be right back, emergency. Sorry about that. Sometimes, sometimes I have to help out and do some damage control. What can you do? When the watch's delicate hands pointed at the stroke of midnight, a melody reminiscent of a lullaby emanated from its gears. How's the puppy? He's good. Jack's doing well. Snuggled up in his blanket, of course, which was just washed. The watch's glass face revealed a timeless scene, as if a window had opened to a moment in history. In that fleeting instance, the wearer could immerse themselves in a past memory, fully experiencing it once more. Isabella, touched by the gift of the watch's magic, decided to explore its wonders. Can you take Jack home? Jack is home. With Lucian's guidance, she set the watch's hands to a particular memory, a moment when sunlight danced through a dew-kissed meadow. As the watch's melody chimed, Isabella found herself enveloped in the warmth and the serenity of the past, a witness to a memory that wasn't her own. Yet, it wasn't just the watch that held the power to transport. Lucian, too, had a gift. His kind eyes held a depth of understanding that came from years of observing the intricacies of time. As he shared stories of the watches he had repaired, he was able to guide people through their own memories, helping them unlock forgotten treasures buried in the layers of time. As Isabella delved further into the pocket watch's enchantment, she realized that it wasn't about changing the past, but about reliving moments that had shaped lives and hearts. Through the watch's melody and Lucian's wisdom, she learned to appreciate the present even more, knowing that each fleeting moment was a treasure to be cherished. And so, in the heart of the clockmaker's shop, where time ticked steadily and memories whispered through the ticking of pocket watches, Lucian and Isabella discovered that the true magic of Melodies of Time's Embrace wasn't just in turning back time, but in the awakening of hearts to the beauty of every moment. The end. I think that's a sweet story and message. I mean, I sure would love to look back every now and then, but also I feel like I do that enough. Oh, here's one that's close seasonally. Christmas. With Bruce the Bear. A bear family lived in a cozy wooden cabin located in a dense spruce forest. I love Jack Jack too. Daddy Bear, Mommy Bear, and Bruce were very happy. The forest provided everything they needed. One day, Daddy Bear built beautiful furniture out of wood in his workshop behind the house. He was very skilled. He most often built tables and chairs, but he could make anything that the others in the forest needed. Mommy Bear painted his creations with beautiful colors and lovingly decorated them with pretty patterns. All the animals appreciated their work and placed many orders throughout the year, but especially leading up to Christmas. Bruce didn't mind the rush, and he was even allowed to help if he liked. Bruce went to the bear school every morning. He daydreamed during his lessons of woodworking with Daddy Bear in the workshop. Daddy Bear had told him that he was already very good with wood and that he might be able to work in the workshop one day soon. One fine afternoon, Bruce and Daddy Bear wandered the forest, collecting wood. And what would you like for Christmas, Jam Jam? Look, Bruce, Daddy Bear said. The forest is much too dry this year. Even though the warm weather has been enjoyable, the summer has been too hot and it didn't rain enough. It's not good for our forest. Thank you, Jam Jam. Will I be streaming on Christmas? Actually, turns out that on Christmas Day is the start of a nice, long 5-day weekend for me. So, technically, you'll have plenty of me. Merry Christmas. But let's go through Thanksgiving first. Do you have anything you're thankful for? Because I'm thankful for everyone that's helping support me. Thank you. Bruce didn't understand Daddy Bear's concern because he was thinking of the many days when he frolicked happily in the woods until late in the evening because of the nice weather. Your wish came true? I guess so. Somehow I knew what you were going to say. Thank you, Jam Jam. One particularly hot day, as Bruce walked home from school, many animals suddenly ran towards him. One frantically shouted, "There's a fire! There's a fire! Run!" Bruce ran after them. He had seen a lot of smoke and high flames. He started to smell the acrid smoke and kept running until he no longer knew where he was. Fortunately, it rained very hard that night, soaking the animals and extinguishing the fire. The next day, they all started looking for a way back to their families. Bruce couldn't stop thinking about his parents. He was very worried and wanted to find them as soon as possible, but the forest looked different because of the fire, and Bruce didn't know where to go. First, he met a family of rabbits who offered for him to stay with them for the night, but Bruce couldn't fit in the rabbit hole. Maybe I'll fit in the fox burrow, Bruce thought to himself as he joined a group of foxes. But he didn't fit in their house either. He tried the hedgehog family, the badgers, and even the wolves, but he didn't fit in anywhere. Many days passed, and he kept looking for home and a place to stay. Soon Bruce noticed that the last leaves were falling from the trees. He knew that winter was not far off. Only a few days later, it got very cold, and Bruce desperately needed a place to sleep. Many animals had found their families again. Deep in his heart, he hoped that his parents were also looking for him and that they had survived the forest fire. Bruce remembered Daddy Bear saying that one should never give up and that there was always a solution. Just then, Bruce the bear realized that he could use his woodworking skills to build a shelter for himself. He started collecting old sticks and branches from the forest. He took it upon himself to build his own winter quarters where, if need be, he could stay safe and warm for the season. The other animals, who had also not yet found their homes, helped Bruce. Christmas was coming, and they decided to all move into Bruce's cabin together and make it as cozy as possible. Bruce hoped his parents would be proud of him when they saw his house. The squirrel wanted a Christmas tree, and so the field mouse and the old hedgehog helped her put one up. Bruce decorated it with a colorful string of lights and some stars made out of straw. It was beautiful. All the lost animals gathered around the little fir tree and sang Christmas carols together. Their concert could be heard throughout the forest, and many animals started coming to hear them sing. Some joined in and clapped along. Others brought delicious cookies and warm tea for everyone. Suddenly, Bruce recognized two familiar voices among all the singers in the forest. His mother and father had heard the concert and were singing along loudly. Bruce could see that they were proud of him. It was a very happy reunion, for they had found each other at last on Christmas. Cute. You ever. It's not a holiday, but that reminds me. When I found out of various shenanigans happening on Friday the 13th, it's not the same. The vibes are completely different. But kinda similar. Oh, how silly. Well, I am starting to get a bit tired. That's what happens when you hear me for too long. So, I'm going to just serenade you all with a bunch of love poems. It'll be fun. We are meant to be. Our love is a story yet untold, a bond that's rare, a love so bold. With you by my side, I feel alive, a love that is real, a feeling to thrive. We complement each other like night and day. Together we are better in every way. Our love is destiny meant to be forever and always, just you and me. Whenever you hear my voice, you fall in love. Very, very sweet of you to say, Jam Jam. A beauty second to none. Every step you take is like a dance, graceful and effortless, a stunning romance. Your walk a sight that turns heads around, a beauty that leaves my heart spellbound. Your voice a melody that soothes my soul, a sweet serenade that makes me feel whole. Your laughter a joy that fills me with light, a pure delight that makes everything feel right. In all that you do, you shine like the sun, a radiant beauty second to none. Watching you dance, walk, sing, and laugh is a pure bliss, a love that forever will last. That's a nice one. Is this how you feel every time I hit be right back? Awaiting your return. Every moment without you feels so long. My heart aches, and I know something is wrong. I wait for you to return, my love, to hold you close, like a hand in a perfect glove. My life feels incomplete without you near. Please come back soon, my dear. Short and sweet. Ooh, it's true. Both you and Solar are the most vocal ones about it. And Core. I miss Core. And Solar. And when you're not around, I miss you too, Jam Jam. And Carmen. And Jinx. And Mooney. And Reen. And everyone else that has come on by to say hello. Can't wait to see you all again very, very soon. Yeah, it's nice to chat and spend time together. One last poem. Let's see the world together. In my mind, I see us both exploring every corner of the earth, hand in hand, with love and hope, sharing memories, discovering our worth, traveling with you, my heart's desire. Together, we'll conquer the world with love and fire. See, that poem is true. But for today, I must leave. And I'll see you all tomorrow after this brief reprieve. Now I'm coming up with poems. Rest well, everyone. Take care.